Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Turf Wars competitive league match. Unfortunately, I have been commentating this entire time, and I have just realised that my microphone was muted. And I put so much effort into that initial commentary, and believe you me, it was spectacular. And now, it was all for nothing, and I've been talking about Turf Wars competitive league by myself in my bedroom, like an absolute lunatic. Nevertheless, I digress, boys and girls. We're here for a competitive Turf Wars game against VIBECHECK in the blue and PuppyInACup in the red. And unfortunately, this commentary comes too little too late, as it looks like PuppyInACup are about to take this first round by storm, and they do. I'm hoping to see some KDs in the chat with some typing. Simply went going 6 and 5, K6 goes 8 and 5, Pams with 2 and 9, Cola A1 with 7 and 7. And the scores on the doors: Puppy 1, VIBECHECK 0. Very unfortunate that that first segment of that round was completely muted. Believe you me, ladies and gentlemen, that was some excellent commentary. I wish you could have been there to see it, but we move. And lessons learned, I guess. My Razor Kraken, it has a little switch on the side of the left earphone, and I accidentally pushed it. So whilst I've been waffling about competitive Turf Wars, none of you got to hear that. Very unfortunate, but we move indeed into the second round of this competitive game. Scores on the doors: PuppyInACup leading 1-0. As we see here from a statistical point of view, I previously commented on this, but obviously no one was here to listen because I was muted the entire time. But if we look on the scores on the doors in previous competitive games, PuppyInACup's record so far is 4 wins and 7 losses, and they're ranked 10 in the rankings at the moment. So from a statistical point of view, they are the favourites in this game, whereas their opposition VIBECHECK have 2 wins and 6 losses, and they are ranked 12th. And maybe that was evident in the first round. I don't think PuppyInACup were ever felt very pressured by VIBECHECK. I think they were pretty dominant. They had much better foundations, and I think it was interesting to see the disparities between the two defensive structures that the teams built. Whereas PuppyInACup were a lot more far and few in between. They had lots of 2x1s or just 1 blocks, a very dynamic defence, and it was nicely spread back, obviously preparing for the worst. And they even had foundations, I don't know if you saw, in case things went sour. They had already the beginnings of some defensive buildings right at the back of their turf in case VIBECHECK made a comeback. Whereas VIBECHECK structures were quite clustered, they were quite aggressive in this situation, and evidently it didn't pay dividends, as the first round goes towards PuppyInACup. And it looks like we're changing the map here for industrial on the second map here, ladies and gentlemen. So like I said, apologies, it's very unfortunate that that first segment of that round I was muted. Not a great start to my first Turf Wars competitive league live stream. But we move, ladies and gentlemen. We move. We always move. Like I said, it's quite unfortunate that in this mini game there's no active kill feed in the chat, so it's quite difficult. Obviously, it's very evident to see which team's in the advantage, which team's winning by the advancements on the turf. But it'd still be nice to have an active idea of who's getting the kills, and it's quite challenging to track every single arrow going around. But luckily, when the game ends, if people type, you can see their KDs. Obviously, if someone's done very poorly, they probably don't want to type, so you only really see the good ones, don't you? But we're looking to go into round 2. VIBECHECK have got a lot to prove in this second round, not only to everyone watching at home, ladies and gentlemen, but to themselves. You know, Minecraft competitive league, it's all about a positive mindset, a positive athlete's mindset, because as we all know, esports, you know, it's a real sport. These Minecrafters in many ways are athletes, sweating over their computers in these humid August temperatures. This is the pinnacle of gaming, I think. Mineplex, it might not be as active as it used to be, but sure is intense, ladies and gentlemen, as we go into the second round. This lobby's a little bit laggy. Hopefully it's not too bad when the second round starts. Often Mineplex lobbies are quite laggy. But as we see here, we are going into this second round. It's quite a nice map, very industrial. I guess that's why it's called industrial. See some cogs there. Looks like a kind of watchtower. Very nice. We love to see it, boys and girls. Regardless, on the blue team, VIBECHECK. On the red team, PuppyInACup. And we will see how the two teams go about in this first build time of the game. Slightly different structures on this map. I wonder if it fluctuates. A very crude drawing by LitLol. I have no idea what this is supposed to be, but it does look rather crude, ladies and gents. Anyway, that's enough about that. As 2Yen gets the first blood, and we can see straight away PuppyInACup get the first couple kills. Like the first round, VIBECHECK, they made a lot of structures quite aggressive in quite a good stance, and a lot of their structures, I would say about half of the blocks they've placed, have already been desecrated by the early picks. I was commenting on this in the last round while I was being muted, but PuppyInACup, I like this strategy of having an initial, almost the foundations of like a backup plan, and they can use this to get these long shots. Obviously, it's high risk, high reward with turf wars. If you get up close, you're at a short distance. It's easier to get those kills, but you're more at risk of enemy infiltrators, and you're more at risk of enemy arrows. Whereas if you're skilled and you're confident in your long range abilities, being at the back probably pays the most dividends. As we see here in this first combat time, PuppyInACup are taking a staggering lead, extremely staggering. Nearly double the scores of VIBECHECK at the moment, and I think VIBECHECK are really feeling the effects of having such minimalist defences. They should probably learn, and for the future, so maybe take a leaf out of PuppyInACup's strategy, and make some more defensive structures. Because the good thing about this is that even though it's one block high, you still have complete visibility of the opposition, and you're further away, so they've got to land long shots, and it has to hit the top half of your body, or else you have this protection here. So if they're not aiming high enough, this simple one block foundation actually will pay dividends, and it clearly has. But now, as it's coming to the closing stages of this round, we see PuppyInACup taking a little bit more of a offensive stance. They're clearly trying to wrap this game up. VIBECHECK are being pushed back heavily. I think this might be quite a quick game, ladies and gentlemen, as 8-6. They're not even being able to get out of spawn at the moment. PuppyInACup are on them like a hot rash. They're not going anywhere, and they're also camouflaged with this beautiful red default skin, the red wool. Maybe VIBECHECK, they just don't even know where they are. It's like John Cena, they just can't even see them right now. And blue are really struggling to get in there. LitLol changes his play. He's gone infiltrator, trying to get some picks to no avail. Rocket is dead. Picks that off. That could be crucial at such a late stage. They're making a last stand here, ladies and gents. Just trying to get those peak shots. Playing very cautiously, but they have to at this rate. Flag Nation should be careful not to overextend, because a death can be crucial at this stage of the game. As 2Yen gets a couple nice shots in quick succession, it looks like this might be it, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like this might be it. And that wraps it up for this game. 2-0 to PuppyInACup. And I do believe that wraps it up for this game, ladies and gentlemen. Good game to PuppyInACup. VIBECHECK, they gave it their best. However, I do think a lot of their problems stem from a lack of defences, maybe. I think it was evident during those rounds that PuppyInACup had a significant advantage in their game plan. They looked more prepared, the way they formatted their defences in quite a sound way did pay dividends, and they switched up as well. In the first round they had those 2x1 structures, which gave them a lot of coverage and a lot of good defense around the map. And in the second round they did a little bit more clustered, but maybe that's because they had the confidence going into the second round after quite a convincing first round. And it did pay dividends, ladies and gentlemen. The game goes to Puppies in a Cup. And that wraps up the game. GG's to both sides. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to apologise about being muted in the first round. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. You know, being a grown man commentating over turf wars is probably bad enough as it is. But being a grown man and commentating over turf wars when no one's listening is probably a lot worse. And it's not ideal. But we move. Ladies and gentlemen, we move. It could be worse. I mean, it's Corona time. We could be dead. And on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up the stream here. I've been your host, Zero Danny. Thank you very much for tuning in. And I enjoy your evenings. GG's to both sides. And stay safe. Goodbye, everyone.